We are being the worst team, maybe, in history of Manchester United. I know that you want headlines.
Manchester United versus Brighton, a match that I think gives you the perfect idea of how good or bad United really are. They play the top teams and they match the intensity, but they don't really show us how good they are on the ball, so fans get a false sense of their real capabilities. They play the bottom team in Southampton and they managed to get away with a win because of Amad Diallo's brilliant performance towards the end of the game, but they also did struggle. So Brighton, a legitimate team in the Prem who's hard to beat no matter who you are. If you lose to them, you're probably a bottom half team. If you beat them, you're probably a top half team. But it's a good test to see both the attacking and defending side of United. And unfortunately for them, it was a test that they failed. The only player I'll give credit to is Diogo Dalot.
The only player today I will give credit is Darren Fletcher because he run his socks off.
He was the only bright spot for United because when it comes to Amorim's formation, he's the only one that I saw actually play his position well. But before we get into that, let's take a look at where it went wrong for United. And it starts with some extremely poor defending. The first goal, 4 minutes in, starts with Zirkzee applying no real pressure, which is fine, but it's a basic rule. If there's no immediate pressure on the ball, you can't play a high line. As a defender, you drop off an extra few yards so they can't successfully play a long ball and get in behind. I mean, this is literally basic stuff right here. Zirkzee really disappointed me this match after I've been talking about how he should be starting over Rasmus Højlund because when he's come on, he's actually done quite well. And I think this is the problem with the mentality at Manchester United recently. 38 minutes into the game and look at how he's jogging to the ball. I don't care if you're playing a low press or even parking the bus. This is just absolutely poor from someone who's supposed to be battling and competing to get minutes on the pitch. And Amorim must be pissed because when United actually do want to press and they press with good intensity, they were able to take the ball away from Brighton quite a few times. And I was enjoying seeing the tactical battle of Brighton trying to break United's high press and United trying to recover the ball in dangerous positions. And even though it was probably around 50-50, it paid off for United during one of the moments that they pressed and eventually got a penalty from it. Another area where they did well and what I referred to earlier was finding the wingbacks, specifically Diogo Dalot. I think his performance showed exactly what Amorim wants in transition moments and how the 3-2-4-1 formation works really well to find players in space out wide. But in order for it to be effective, Diogo Dalot has to quickly transition from defense to attack, and he did this very well, recognizing the moments in which Manchester United won the ball and immediately without delay started to sprint forward. And United was successful at this even when he moved to the right side, and I thought this is what they should do more often to get in behind Brighton, because Brighton would start in a lower block, at times going into a 5-4-1, which is honestly as close as you can get to parking the bus, and then they would eventually push higher with the wide players, which would create those openings for United's wingbacks. But the truth is that United's players just don't have the quality in the final third, especially if the play isn't going through Bruno Fernandes. And where it went wrong for United was exactly where it started. Poor pressure and lazy defending from the front players, specifically Joshua Zirkzee, to allow Brighton's back line to play out and eventually get the ball wide. And once again, Mazraoui losing his mark at the back post where Mitoma would score. And even in the third goal, Amad Diallo is completely in the wrong position as Brighton build out, so when the ball gets played into the middle, there's no desire to track back and chase it down. Brighton continue to play with some quality football to move United around before it eventually gets crossed in. And this is where the tactical analysis ends, because Andre Onana makes a mistake that is just inexcusable for a goalkeeper at this level. He's had some really good performances lately, but I think these mistakes almost undo all of his hard work. You can't win games if your goalkeeper can't even catch the ball. And before I finish, I do want to say that Brighton is one of the best run clubs in England. The way they set up their youth academies, develop players, give chances to young coaches, and have a good philosophy throughout all age groups is the reason why they're such a good team. They're far better than United, and that is clear. So I do agree with Ruben Amorim, this is the worst Manchester United team in history. But the only reason it wasn't as bad before is because at least it was Ten Hag's players. Now that Amorim has inherited this team and changed the style and formation, he's broken it down even more. And the truth is, they're in a very difficult position. They look more like Spurs than Spurs do, and if Manchester United doesn't hit the reset button this transfer window, or at least start thinking of getting rid of half their team, they may be cutting it close to a relegation battle. I give credit to Zirkzee for being better than Højlund in the past few matches, but he's terrible in this one. I say that Mazraoui is a good wingback and that he fits in the system, and he forgets how to defend. Unfortunately, player for player, Manchester United is exactly where they deserve to be. And right now, there's a higher chance that they finish below 13th than above it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.